Good morning, my name is Roger Austin. I'm with a company called MWH, and our global headquarters are here in Broomfield, Colorado. And we're a 165-year-old company, and all we do is water and energy. And so we're very excited at the new era in water. I've been asked to just share a few comments on some perspectives on the water industry. We call water, we think water is going to be the next oil, and to coin an old Colorado phrase, whiskey's for a drinking and water's for a fight. We think that day is coming soon. So like oil, water is mirrored in a whole bunch of conflict, and it's getting more severe. It's tremendously overused and over-allocated is probably the more important thing. Unequal distribution and access. What's different is its vulnerability to climate change, which I have a map showing, and it gets very local very quick. It becomes a very local issue, and the societal and environmental impacts on local groundwater and local water uses is significant. This is a map showing the global water resources, and the darker colors are illuminating the areas where stress on the water system is reaching abnormal high levels. Every water basin, so what's unique, we have this quote, everybody's doing carbon footprinting. Carbon footprinting, carbon in Australia is like carbon in Colorado. What's very different about water is extremely unique to every single basin that you operate in. So you can't compare Australia to Colorado in terms of the water impacts. So a basin, every water basin is unique. So a water basin could be the Colorado River Basin, or it can go all the way down to the Little Cherry Creek water basin here in Denver. So some of these areas, multi-year droughts in the U.S. and Southern California, extreme worldwide over-allocation of water. Unlike oil, water is not price efficient. And frankly, it becomes a human right issue and therefore cannot really be priced to the value of what water is really worth. It's a very precious commodity. We can't do without it. But if you, I'll just ask a question. Who here would pay me 1 penny for a gallon of water? Okay, thank you. You just raised the water rates 10 times for what the average water rate in the U.S. is. So that's how underpriced water is. So thank you. Just a tenfold increase in our water rates. Yeah. I made somebody money. This is another map just showing, so if you just get out of the sometimes sensitive issue of climate change, even if you just look at over-allocation and just the physical water scarcity around the world, to take out the climate change impact, this map shows the areas of the world that have just physical water scarcity, economic water scarcity, meaning there is no infrastructure built to deliver fresh water. And this goes to Cameron's earlier slide of why 1 billion people in the world don't have access to fresh water. I just wanted to illuminate this paper. This white paper just came out this year in February. It's called Murky Waters, and it illuminates what this report did. It was run by Scarce, UBS, and Bloomberg. MWH is not part of this, but it's a very, very, very good paper. What they did was looked at 8 sectors and looked at 100 companies. And they looked at how companies deal with water accounting, evaluating the risk to their supply chain as it affects water. And the top score that they were willing to authorize or hand out was 100. The top company scored a 43, to give you an idea how far away we are in really assessing the risk in the private world. And frankly, that's the real big change that we see happening. Public utilities across the nation, they've actually done a fundamental great job at managing the water systems. But now it's down to citizens, it's down to private companies to understand how water is being used, because quite frankly, most people have taken that for granted. And that's where we see the real big changes that are going to be happening in the next 100 years of water. So this takes out part of the paper, and so it's risk disclosure is subdivided into these 4 categories. Number 1, the impact of legislation and regulation. So how a company is processing its water risk as associates with legislation and regulation. Impact on the international accords, indirect consequences of regulation or business trends, and then physical impacts of climate change. So this is actually a new SEC regulation that any publicly traded company is going to have to comply with effective January of this year. Okay, so you can start to get a sense of the change that is being required inside the private water use. MWH did its own research. We talked about 25 companies and utilities last year, and we found that all the low-hanging fruit, as it turns out, around water and energy savings, a lot of that's been done. So everybody's changed out the light bulbs, everybody's done recycling programs. The next level is going to require a lot more capital investment. It is going to require returns on investments, and frankly, it's going to require real strategies from private corporations, and strategies that address marketing and branding, operational issues, obviously financial impacts, risk management, organizational issues, and market position. So this is one of the things that we're going back and trying to help companies and organizations understand is how their resources are managed across their supply chain. We're not the only ones. You've already heard about what IBM, I think it's awesome, IBM's entered the industry. We need smarter infrastructure, absolutely. We also need better processes. We need people aligned with these strategies so they understand the impacts of water and energy management. This just gives you we actually developed a phrase that we will help you go beyond green. We feel like some of the early thoughts were, we call it greenwashing, just having a nice little mission statement saying that you'll be a sustainable company. We can help you go beyond green, and we've developed a little thing called a strategic resource management quick start, which helps organizations understand where are their strategies as it relates to strategically managing their resources. So, just to conclude, we do believe water is the next oil. We think it will come behind. Energy is very hot right now. Water is probably 5 to 8 years out for it to really hit that level. The last 100 years of water is not like the next 100 years. There's have to be some major changes. Right now, a lot of the way the water is managed across the United States, it actually incentivizes waste. It's hard to balance conservation and revenue streams at a public utility. And finally, every person, every company, and every community will need to understand water, its impact, and its preciousness. Thank you.